A third of Pakistan is underwater.
Fires rage either side of the Thames.
As bad as the experts feared, Hurricane Ian has made landfall in Florida and the
2022 has been the year of extremes.
Wildfires ravaging southern Europe are forcing thousands from their homes.
The deluge hitting northern New South Wales has broken
A
records.
summer of record-breaking heat is drying up rivers across Europe.
Since COP26 in Glasgow last year, the climate crisis has gone from bad to worse.
There is a drought in much of the Horn of Africa. Millions of people are on the brink of starvation.
An extreme weather record has been broken on every continent on the planet. Families and communities are suffering the consequences of decades of climate inaction, here in Australia and around the world. And for countries like Australia, the worst could still be to come, with predictions of floods and cyclones along the east coast this summer. We know that when the rains stop and the vegetation dries out, we'll be set for yet another fire disaster. And for many communities in the Pacific, rising seas and monster storms are an existential threat.
We are on a collision course for a future that erases many Pacific communities and where extreme floods, droughts, famine, storms and erratic weather are the new norm for every nation.
The stakes have never been higher, and the time for empty words is over.
Nearly half of humanity is living in the danger zone now. Many ecosystems are at the point of no return now. Unchecked carbon pollution is forcing the world's most vulnerable on a frog march to destruction now. The facts are undeniable.
Even if all the world's countries meet their current 2030 emissions reduction targets, we'll still overshoot global warming limits. That's a sobering thought. This spells disaster for our planet. And as we've already seen, those countries and communities who've contributed the least to the climate crisis are paying the most.
Families have been displaced across Pakistan, but the people that have been worst affected are the poor, people who had very little to begin with.
We are facing a catastrophe that is simply colossal. It is very clear that this is climate related.
Wealthy nations have a responsibility to help other nations to prepare for, adapt to, and protect themselves from accelerating climate disasters. Countries must go well beyond what they've currently committed to and act faster during this make or break decade to ensure a survivable future. We need to put our money where our mouths are and take meaningful action. Move beyond fossil fuels and invest in resilient communities here in Australia and in our region. So our message to global leaders is simple. Show leadership because what you do today matters. The world is watching. We have no more time to waste.